Well, I don't know how well y'all can see that, but I think it's okay there. I just want to share this with you on my watering project. Now, I don't recommend cutting corners and using scab products like this, especially on something as vital as an irrigation system. But the fact is, on my manifold here, you can see at each piece, I don't have a whole lot of room for error. And already this is the second revision. You can see down here how the lines had to be jogged to the left. You know, they used to just go straight into the ground, but now you can see everything's offset a little bit because this is already the second manifold I've built. And this particular fitting was one that I tried to salvage using one of those fancy bits that you use to drill out or mill out the piece of PVC that was glued in, and then you can reuse the fitting. Now that's all well and good. That's a great idea. Maybe if it's a really expensive fitting. This 3/4 inch slip to thread adapter may have cost me 60 cents. And I tried to mill it out and reuse it anyway. Now I can also tell by the looks of this one here, as roughed up as it is, I also milled it out and it worked fine. But this one I milled out, and when I did, I guess I milled out too much. And so when I glued all this back together, this thing was leaking just, you know, not crazy, but leaking enough that there's no way I could consciously leave this thing with pressure on it all the time operating. So I didn't really have the space, and I didn't want to take all this back apart, so I went and got this product. It's made by JB Weld. It says it seals up. It's actually, let me show you the tube. It's a JB Weld. It says it's water weld. And it says on the package, which doesn't say on here, but it says on the package for it that it'll actually even work underwater. So if you're having to seal up the bottom of a, I don't know, a plastic swimming pool or something, whatever you would use it on, it says it'll actually work underwater instead of bond PVC and plastic. So I tried it. Now I'm not underwater, but I'm in the presence of a lot of water. And I tried it. I put it on yesterday morning, so it's been probably about 36 hours to let it set up. What's interesting is I prodded it right here, and you can see I'm leaving nail prints in that portion. So I think I probably just didn't knead that together good enough, didn't get a good epoxy. But the stuff here in the back where I'm scratching, that's hard as a rock. And it appears that it works. It's sealed up. I've still got a little drip right here. You can see it dripping, drip. So not bad. I can live with that. You know, ideally I wouldn't waste a single drop. That's my goal. But I can live with that for right now. And I suppose even I can go back and run some epoxy right here on this fitting. Now that I've proven that it works, I can go back and run it here. But I just want to share that with you guys. JB Weld, water weld, seems to have worked for now. I'm still going to go ahead and shut this thing off tonight. I'm not going to leave it with pressure on it, not when I can't monitor it. And I'll give it, you know, I don't know, maybe a month or two worth of runs before I'm probably, you know, before I'm really comfortable with leaving it on unattended all the time. And I think what I really need to do on this system as a whole is, see right now I've just adapted, I've got an adapter there that adapts over to garden hose, and I've got it just running off a spigot. And some of you guys know from my earlier videos, my whole goal is to get this run completely off the rain barrels, and I will, I can right now. But in the interest of time and simplicity, I'm running it off city water rather than trying to hook up my pump and everything for this test. But I am going to put in a shut-off valve. You just put in another valve like these. They fail closed, and the timer up here actually has an option in it, a valve timer. So any time the system says a run should be happening, it opens that master valve. Now that's currently what's wired up to operate my pump. So the way it's hooked up now is anytime the timer kicks on, if the pump's hooked in the system anyway, anytime the timer kicks on, it says, hey, open the master valve. But what that really does is sends a signal to my pump relay, and it turns the pump on. And my pump's not on right now, clearly it's running off city pressure. But I should be able to plug in, you know, into that same port, even with the pump on it. I can still plug in wires as well that would run a master valve. And so I think that's what I'll do. That way I'll know, especially when the system shuts down, that master valve closes, I won't have pressure held on this epoxy. So again, you know, systems like this, you're putting an awful lot of faith into having it work for you when you're not around to watch it. And so, you know, it takes some thought, takes some planning, and certainly you don't want to cut corners on it. This has worked right now to save me some time and effort. In the long term, I will fix it all proper. So anyway, I just want to share that with you guys right now. If you've got a PVC pipe leaking and you want to patch it up quick and easy, give it a shot. JB Weld, Water Weld, picked it up at Lowe's, $5 maybe. And I used, off that little 4-inch stick, I maybe used a ½ inch. So I got plenty more left to do more repairs in the future if I need to. So that's it for now. Hope you all. I tell you, I spoke too soon, and I always do. I let the system run for an hour on the raised bed, just trying to get it watered down finally and see how it performed. According to the rain gauge that I stuck in the middle of the bed, off these little mister heads, after 30 minutes it had watered 3 inches. That just doesn't seem logical to me, but I mean, based on the moisture of the soil, I don't imagine how it could have effectively rained 3 inches. So I'm going to have to figure out some sort of correlation or something there to figure out, if the rain gauge in the bed says 3 inches, it really only got a ½ inch or whatever. I'm not sure. Anyway, this leak is not quite so easy as the other one, because this is the valve body itself that's leaking. And of course, the valve body is threaded, but on either side of it is glued. So I can cut down here where the barcode is, thread the valve out of position if I have to replace the valve. It was dripping a little bit the other day, but now it's full on leaking, holding full pressure against it. So just that much more reason convincing me definitely need to put a master shutoff valve in the system in case of little things like this, because you never know when a valve body is going to rupture and it's going to leak like this. I don't know why. This is a different valve, actually. If you look, see the other three, those three are all orbits. And I want to say this one is, oh, it's also an orbit. I don't know what the difference is. I'll be honest with you, I think I bought all 4 of them at Lowe's. They're all 3/4 inch body valves. I don't know why this one looks different, other than maybe it's just a different model or serial number, but they're all the same concept, same valve. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but it is certainly leaking pretty good here, and I can't really tell, feeling around it, where the leak's coming from, but it's definitely coming from somewhere in the valve body itself. It's coming from back here, back behind, and I don't know. Maybe it's repairable. I'll just have to tinker with it and see, but I'm afraid it's not. I'm afraid I'm going to have to cut it and replace that. Anyway, it's the way it goes. It's the saga continues of trying to get automatic watering on my garden.